I screwed up. I screwed up. We cut the interview way too short and was in jeopardy of having to compromise my commitment to give you straight talk in two parts that you can't get from anywhere else. But you're in luck. What we're going to share with you now is the conversation that was earmarked for our VIPs. So when we tell you that we save the best for our VIPs, here's a glimpse into the tent. Here's a glimpse into the VIP room so you can see what we share with those who participate in our VIP Patreon program. So take a listen to this extra special conversation with Keith Brooks and find that link to subscribe to become a VIP. This is just a little bit of what you'd be missing if you don't. Welcome to the Whiskey, Jazz, and Leadership Podcast. Subscribe now so you don't miss a drop of straight talk you can't get anywhere else. We discuss the whiskeys to drink, music to listen to, and what it really takes to be an effective leader. I'm your host, Galen Bingham, the leadership strategist. Tonight's guest, founder and CEO of the National Fellowship of Black and Latino Male Educators, Keith Brooks. Hey, what you drinking? Okay, I got over here as fast as I could. I got over here as fast as I could because this dude is a giant in the space of education. He's a giant in the space of emotional intelligence. And any of the crew that I came in with, he's always in their mind as much as he is in mine. And I've got him here for you. Keith Brooks, come on in, man. Come on in and step on around that little rope there and come on in, man. We're waiting for you.
Let's do it. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, man. So, hey, before we get into this extra special conversation, I gotta ask, how did we treat you? What was the podcast process like for you? Because I don't do a whole lot of other podcasts, just this one. And many people have told me that this is a different experience than what they were expecting, or different experience than what they get from other podcasts. So what was this like for you?
Yeah, Galen, you said experience. It was an experience. It's not like, didn't feel like an interview. It felt like an experience. You taking me into your room. You were inviting me with a drink. I'm sitting down. I'm imagining walking to the VIP. So it's an experience. I would say less of an interview, and just like I feel like I'm in your living room.
Fantastic. Well, hey, man, this was built for you, man. This was built for the guest, and this was built for the VIP. So let me tell you a little bit about who's in the VIP room, and then ask you to weigh in on some additional advice for them. So, three groups in the VIP room. The first group is someone who's leading a massive organization. There are layers and layers of names behind underneath theirs, and they're using their entire body weight to try to move the ship into one direction or the other, or just trying to keep it going, right? And so they tune in trying to get advice on how they can move and change a massive organization when they are 4, 5, 6 layers away from the end user. So they're in the VIP room. The second group of people who are in the VIP room is someone who they may be on an org chart somewhere. Chances are they're not. They're not interested in being at the top of anybody's org chart. They have even DM'd me, some of them, and said, Galen, I am not even trying to lead people. I'm just trying to get better at this thing that I feel I was called to do, and see if I can set a new watermark as to how good I can be at this particular thing. And so they tune into this conversation looking for advice on personal excellence. How can I just improve at what I'm doing and stay motivated to do it at a high level? And then the third group is My mom is always in the VIP room because she keeps hearing about all these amazing folks that I'm hanging out with. So she comes in to check for herself. So mom is always in the VIP room. So
Right.
what advice would you give to my VIPs? It could be targeted to each of them, or it could just be one piece of wisdom that you believe applies to everyone about how they can be more effective as a leader.
We used to ask this question of our staff, do you get to do what you do best every day? And so my advice is to ask yourself that question. And if the answer is yes, even if it's hard, you should keep doing it. And if the answer is no, you should find a way less of what you're doing and more of what you're called to do.
Wow. You sense, and maybe it's just a sense, how can you sense your calling? How can you tell if you're doing what you were called to do?
For me, I don't feel like I work a day in my life. It's like the air I breathe. Like you have to tell me to stop. You have to tell me it's time to eat. Like I feel like I'm a kid, and it's like I'm playing video games because there's eustress and distress. And distress, is painful. It's like the stress, the anxiety, the worry, and those things. Eustress is that adrenaline you get in that rush. And so I feel like when you're doing your calling, you just get lost in time. And you are like a kid all over again. It's kind of like the Whitney Houston. I just imagine the Whitney Houston song, and you just like on the roller skates on the dance floor or something, whatever it is, and the music playing is that's like it's just you and nobody else. That's your calling.
And I can absolutely identify with that image that you painted. For me, that's when I'm coaching. And specifically, it's when I'm coaching an executive and they tell me what they want to accomplish in our time together. And my internal dialogue says, wow, I see why you need a coach for that because I can give you no advice. I got nothing for you. Let's see how this works out, right? That's the internal dialogue. And we get into the process, we start working through some things, and you start seeing them, visibly seeing them have breakthroughs and insights. And by the end of it, they've got this clarity, this look of clarity on their face,
Yeah.
and I again I go back to myself and I'm thinking I have no idea what just happened,
Yeah.
but it seemed to have worked.
Work. Some people call it flow, is that idea of like you're in flow. Some people call it the zone. I'm not sure what it's called, but I know what it feels like. I know what it looks like. The Super Bowl was just a couple of days ago, and Patrick Mahomes that's not work to him. That's not a job, right? Like that is what he was born to do in that moment. And so I try to find more ways where I'm the LeBron James of this industry. I'm without it being arrogant of those things, like how can I be the Tiger Woods or the LeBron James or the Michael Jordan of this industry to set the pace? I'm gonna say one last thing. They have every legend has its story. Like Kobe, if you ever watched the Redeem team with the USA basketball team, LeBron tells a story of they were all just coming back at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever hour it is, in the morning, coming back from the club or whatever it is, and Kobe Bryant was going to the gym. And then after that, after they saw that, one person started going to the gym with Kobe, then another one, then another one. And then before you know it, he changed the whole culture of a vibe. And so for me, you asked me about leadership. That's what leadership is. You've changed the game. You've changed the culture. Yeah, that's the best example I can give right now.
I'll tell you another thing, man. First of all, thank you so much for just helping me explain this thing that's hard for me to explain about what it feels like when things are working, they're happening around you, and I just don't know how they're happening. I just know that I'm glad that I'm here to witness
Yeah.
this. But there's another thing that comes to mind anytime I'm around you, and I'm going to ask. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit because you've got this quote that seems to follow you from an unlikely philosopher. Do you know it by heart? Can you tell a little bit about this Tupac quote that seems to follow you wherever you go? What's behind it?
Um, Man, he meant it for people from the hood, from the ghetto, right? Like that's the baseline. And you start from there. And the concrete represents the oppression, the obstacles, the drugs, the system, and the rose represents the black and brown people who make it out. He's talking about this idea about like, if you see a rose growing from the concrete, you wouldn't question it. You would just be in awe that a rose grew from the concrete. And simultaneously, I widen it now and I'm like, we all can be roses that grow from the concrete in our own ways. And our job is to help others, to create more rose gardens. And so that's what we do over at the fellowship. We start our meetings with this 1 minute clip where Tupac is saying this rose and concrete. And, you can meditate in many different ways and you can come to bring it back to center and balance. And that's one way we bring mindfulness back into our space is to meditate on this poem and the lyrics.
Man, I tell you that is always one of the highlights of the conversations I have with you, and I feel so honored to be part of the faculty for this enrichment program that you lead, or at least that I've been a part of for the past several years, because it really does allow me to step into this thing that I feel like I was put on this planet to do, but just to watch people have world changing breakthroughs is just amazing. And to know that those folks, those fellows, are then sent out to inspire the next generation of
Mhm.
folks coming up behind us. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing, man. Thank you for being part of this whiskey, jazz, and leadership community. Dude, if there's anything the community can do to support you, please let us know, because you are the Harriet Tubman of education, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for creating the space, Galen. If I may, when I was a part of the coaching cadre, seeing a black man from corporate America having been successful, being in the same room, you know what I mean? It just walk a little bit straighter. Like, yeah, I belong. And so, and also all the stuff you do behind the scenes, man, your branding, your all these different things, Kobe, I'm gonna go like 1 minute soapbox. I know you probably have to go, but 1 minute soapbox is that Jordan, I don't know if Jordan would be Jordan without Bird and Magic, and Dr. J, right? I don't know if Kobe is Kobe without Jordan. I don't know if LeBron is LeBron without Kobe. And so we all need our version of Kobe's and LeBron's and Birds and Magic. And you are that for me. And I try to be that for others.
Ah, man, I will absolutely not only accept that, I'm going to write that down and say Keith Brooks said, and put that on my monitor, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. And again, thank you for what you've shared with the VIPs, man.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's not too late. Hit that subscribe button so you're sure to catch the next episode. If you're really enjoying the vibe, leave us a review or become a VIP for guest and show exclusives. Cheers.